So this is the section that has the excerpt from a flyer announcement from, I think it was February 14th. Actually, I've been saying 1912, it's 1915. Have to check that. At least that's what it says here in the painting. In Yiddish, in translation, it was something like, this meeting will be recorded in the Golden Book of Seattle's history as this great and important event. And the lower left quadrant is where I have the lyrics in Yiddish for the partisan song, the Partisan Lied. Greetings, July 27, 2016. The other day I came across the flyer I had got at the Jewish Archives unit of the library, Susilo Library at the University of Washington in Seattle, back in either 1990 or 91. One of several flyers I had saved from the papers of a now long deceased Seattle Jewish resident named Jacob Kaplan. And I'm going to add this footage to some videos I took of the history of Jewish writing from the Ten Commandments to the 20th century artwork that I did back in 1990-91, and which was exhibited for the first time ever this past May at a World Calligraphy exhibit at Seattle Central College. It also had been reproduced in color on the cover of the holiday issue of the late Jewish Transcript newspaper that served Jewish residents throughout Washington State for many years. For 90 years, actually, till it was shuttered by the Jewish Federation of Seattle in March of 2015. So we've got English on this side, the Yiddish on the right side, and the bottom paragraph I depicted pictorially in Yiddish using Hebrew letters, so I'm going to read the English of that here. Attention, Jewish men and women, mammoth mass meeting under the auspices of the Adath Israel of Seattle will be held at Washington Hall, large hall upstairs. It's actually about a, 10-block walk from where I live now. 14th Avenue and East 1st Street. Sunday night, February 14th, 1915, beginning 7:30 p.m. sharp. The meeting will be addressed by the famous orator Rabbi Baruch Shapiro upon matters of vital interest to the Jewish community. This always tickles me. I always chuckle. The kosher meat question being settled. I have no idea how they settled it. I hope they ate good. The next most important matter will be Talmud Torah, and this is the part I depicted pictorially, except as I mentioned in Yiddish using Hebrew letters. This mass meeting is of the greatest importance to the Jewish men and women of the city. It will be recorded in the Golden Book of Seattle Jewish history as one of its greatest events. The update on the artwork is I'm still hoping to find a home in Seattle, or Puget Sound at least, for the artwork. A local Reform rabbi I've known for many years has offered to fundraise the framing costs, which is going to be 3 G's plus tax, and I'm hoping yet that the work will be saved. Have to find a place, a site. It's 8 feet high by 5 feet wide. There you have it. Anyway, kind of a fascinating glimpse into Seattle Jewish history from over 100 years ago, and I remember thinking when I was working on the artwork that it was just a pure chance that I happened to choose Jacob Kaplan's papers as opposed to someone else. Happened to come across this flyer, because otherwise this mammoth mass meeting that was to be recorded in the Golden Book of Seattle Jewish history as one of his great events would have fallen into complete obscurity, but for chance. There you have it. For those who read Yiddish, I'll do a slow pan here from top to bottom. what I can really make out. Well, I can read Rav Baruch Shapiro. Actually, I can read Adat Israel. It's interesting how Yiddish is phonetically. Actually, this is actually attention. I can read that Talmud Torah. Voila. So this was the cover of the September 18th, 1998. The Jewish calendar 5759, Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah. Cover art, section B, the Jewish Transcript of Seattle, which was a newspaper for Jewish communities throughout Washington State for 90 years. I think they did a beautiful job in reproducing the artwork and color on the cover. I'm getting a little bit of reflection here from outside on the plexiglass. So there's the 10 Commandments in the center. I'm just going to point out two or three things. There's some Judeo-Arabic around here. We've got some English letters up there. A mix of Hebrew words from a variety of different sources. In the upper right, upper left, the Partisan and Lied, the partisan song sung by Jewish partisans fighting against the Nazi murderers in the forests of Eastern Europe, Poland, Lithuania, and so on, is depicted, portrayed here. Back there it says in English letters, Partisan and Lied. Lied is like Yiddish and German for song. And here's the section, lower right quadrant, where I copied the Yiddish from the text of the flyer from the papers of Jacob Kaplan about the announcing the Mammoth Mass meeting held at Washington Hall on 14th Avenue and East 1st Street in Seattle on February 14th, 1915. And stating this event would be recorded in the Golden Book of Seattle's Jewish history as one of its greatest events. And hadn't I chanced on it just arbitrarily on the papers of Jacob Kaplan when I went up to the University of Washington Seattle Library many years ago. It was either 1990 or 91 when I was working on the artwork. The history of that meeting would have fallen into complete obscurity. Actually, it was probably in obscurity for decades until I found it. I just actually looked up, I Googled the name of the rabbi, orator, who was the speaker at the program, Baruch Shapiro, and brought up a website from one of the Seward Park Orthodox synagogues in Seattle, and there was a photograph of his gravestone. And he lived from 1883 to 1970, so very close to the same, extremely the same age range as my grandparents, both of whom, my mother's parents were born in between 1880 and 82. My mother's father died in 1968, so very, very similar age, same generation of immigrants. There you have it. History of Jewish writing from the 10 Commandments of the 20th century as reproduced in the cover of Seattle's Jewish Transcript newspaper.